President Donald Trump is once again facing fresh scrutiny over his health and energy levels after appearing to struggle to stay awake during a maternal health care event inside the White House on Monday. The moment quickly exploded online, with multiple clips showing the president seemingly closing his eyes and slumping back in his chair while Senator Katie Britt was speaking at the event. Ironically, just moments before that, Trump himself had warned the senator not to speak for too long. At the event focused on launching the new Mom.gov initiative for mothers-to-be, President Trump could be heard telling Britt, quote, "Don't speak too long."
To say a few words, Katie's going to say, and followed by Monique Pruitt, and then Olivia Walton, then Dr. Oz and Dr. Dorothy Fink, and Dr. Alex Adams. And you'll speak not too long because I am being waited on by a large group of generals. And that's also important, you know, having to do with the absolutely lovely country of Iran. That's the way they pronounce it.
Well, we will get started.
Despite the short speeches, cameras appeared to catch Trump multiple times with his eyes closed, seemingly resting or possibly even dozing off during the event. The clips spread rapidly on social media, with critics immediately jumping on the moment. One viral post simply read, quote, "Trump is about to hit REM on camera in the Oval." Liberal political commentator Harry Sisson also shared the video online, writing, quote, "Trump fell asleep with his face drooping in the Oval Office during a meeting today. This is a real video that should concern every American. He's not fit to serve." The latest moment has only added fuel to ongoing debates surrounding President Trump's physical and cognitive health, something critics have repeatedly questioned over the past few months. California Governor Gavin Newsom had already mocked the president recently, branding him, quote, "dozy Don," after another Oval Office appearance where Trump appeared to nod off while others were speaking nearby. And this isn't the first time Trump's public behavior has triggered headlines. Not long ago, while defending his own cognitive fitness during a separate appearance, the president unexpectedly veered off into a bizarre ramble involving a squirrel, leaving many online confused about where exactly he was going with the story.
You know, one of the things I said is that we should have, in my opinion, anybody running for president or vice president should take a cognitive test. And no president has ever taken one except me. I've taken 3 of them, and I've aced each one. 1 in the first administration, 2 over here. And whenever they get a little sassy, like, does he still have it? Does he still have what it takes? I say, all right, I'll take another one. And they are hard. There are many people in this room I know that are smart. They're not going to ace them. There are many people standing back there, the fake news media, that I'd like to have them. You know, the first question is very easy, and they always show the first question is, you have a lion, a bear, an alligator, and what's another good? A squirrel, okay? Which is the squirrel? So they show that question, and then the first 4 or 5 questions they get a little more difficult. By the time you get to the middle, they're tough. By the time you get to the end, I don't want to be insulting, but there won't be. I'm not going to do what Gavin Newsom said. You saw him? He said, everybody in here is stupid, and he's stupid. I think it was the worst political interview I've ever seen. He said, he's stupid, he's dumb, he gets bad marks on everything, he can't read a speech, and nobody wants to report that. It was the worst, but I won't say that because I think everyone in this room is brilliant, but nobody's going to get all 30 questions correct. Nobody. Because when you get to those last questions, they're pretty hard. You got to be pretty sharp. But every time, so I've taken 3. No president, think of this, has ever taken 1. How do you think Biden would have done? I don't think, he might not have gotten that first question right. Anyway, and Obama would have done poorly. They would have done very poorly. But I think you should have it. As soon as they said that, they say, it's unconstitutional. And I said, why? They say it's unconstitutional to give a cognitive test like that. But Rick, I do it anytime they start getting a little sassy. And you know, it quiets them down for almost a year when they hear the result. One doctor said, it's the first time I've ever seen anyone get all questions right. That's a doctor who does this stuff for a living. And I did it 3 times. So I don't know. I think I'm done with those days. I'm tired of taking that test.
Now, for context, the Montreal Cognitive Assessment isn't designed to measure intelligence. It's a screening tool used in nearly 100 countries to detect signs of cognitive decline, including dementia and Alzheimer's. Tasks include basic memory recall, identifying dates, drawing shapes, things meant to assess normal cognitive function, not brilliance. Speaking to 9.com.au, the test's creator, Canadian neurologist Ziad Nasruddin, said, quote, "I think he's proud that he's able to demonstrate that his cognition is fine. The average score sits at 26 out of 30, and according to the test's creator, Nasruddin, about 10% of people in Trump's age group can achieve a perfect score. In other words, it's not unheard of." Because almost instantly, that squirrel moment took on a life of its own. Social media lit up, with users dissecting not just the test, but Trump's repeated emphasis on it. One user wrote, quote, "Bragging about being the only president that is showing clear signs of dementia is not the flex Trump thinks it is."